Hey everyone, this is Elsid932 on YouTube. I want to thank you for joining me for Love is Blind DC, which is season 7. This is going to be a recap and review of episode 8. So please like the video, share, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts about the episode, about the recap, and just about anything else. Maybe even some other shows you'd like me to review. So we're going to start with episode 8. Remember, we are in DC. We are back home. We've moved into the apartment that Love is Blind has provided for us. So we start with Tyler and Ashley. She says she welcomes his opinions about the wedding. He says he wants to be involved. And she's like, he could be co-counsel, but she going to be running this wedding. And he's like, hey, I want to name the kids. And she said, oh, you can only name the boy. And he's agreed. You have Monica and Steven. He takes her to a flower shop because Steven, remember, she kept saying, flowers, flowers. Steven, don't forget the flowers. So in the flower shop, Steven planned a wonderful date of pressed flowers. So basically, the hostess said, this is a perfect way to preserve a bouquet from your wedding so you could just, preserve it and have the memory forever. I thought it was a beautiful gesture. I would not have thought that of Steven. I wonder if one of the producers helped him. But that's just my thought. But Steven could possibly know something about pressed flowers. Hey, he's an electrician. He could have gone to somebody's home, fixing, their wiring and be like, what's that? They're like, oh, it's preserving flowers, and go from there. So she's excited. Monica's like, oh, yeah, this is a wonderful date. Very thoughtful. So I said, is he going to feel like he has to one-up her requests? Because it feels like she kept saying, bring me flowers. Okay, so he's not just bringing her flowers from the store or from a flower shop. Either way, it feels like he's like, oh, I'm not going to just get her flowers. Let's go to a workshop and do pressed flowers. Are you going to one-up every time she asks a suggestion? Because, Steve, that'll get tiring after a while. So he said he's only ever glued little models, and Monica's like, you know what that means? Asking a hostess. She's like, yeah, I've done, models before. So when they glue their models together and they make their bouquet, their pressed flower arrangements, Monica thinks hers is prettier. Steven agrees. But the person said, Steven's looks, much better, but Monica has a great gradient or balance of colors. Taylor said Monica's dad does not want to be on camera, and but the dad does want to walk her down the aisle. So he doesn't want to do the meeting on camera, is what I took it as. So the dad is like, hey, how do you know that Steven's a liar like your last boyfriend? And I'm like, last boyfriend? Dad, why are you bringing that up? And then I'm like, Monica, do you overshare with your dad? It sounded like dad knew a lot about the relationship. Or did you just cry on his shoulders? I'm watching that. I'm paying attention because it sounds like dad knows a lot. So Steven says he'll show her dad that he loves her, and that's all. That's it. That's all. So we have Hannah and Nick at Nick's parents' house. Remember, he still lives with his parents. And he said he was in football and traveling right away up until 2 years ago. So it made no sense for him to keep an apartment when he'll be traveling with different teams. So I understand that, Nick. I understand that. Now you're a realtor. You probably figured you're going to do 2 years. And then you decided, oh, Love is Blind. Why would I buy a place without my spouse being involved? So Hannah's like, oh, all this Catholic stuff, because Hannah's like, I hope your mom knows I'm not religious. So the mom, is the one who really cooks. Now they're doing this visit at the home because they're visiting where each other lives. This is not the meet the parents date. That's going to be later on. So Hannah looks at all the books in his room and be like, whoa, you read all them? He's like, yeah, I read all them. And she's like, you don't give me the reading type. That's me judging based on Hannah's look. And I'm like, I'm looking around the kitchen too. And Nick's mom is like me. I don't put magnets and stuff on the front of my fridge. It's all on the side. And Nick's mom is too much like me. So tell me, in the comments, when you have magnets or different things you want to remember and place on your fridge, is it on the very front, the side, or both? So he lives in the basement, and Hannah's like, "Your mom cleaned your room, didn't you?" He's like, "No, I keep my area clean. Mom does not do this for me." So he says only 3 people have ever seen his space, because she's like, "How do you bring girls home?" And he's like, "I don't do that." So she was expecting a man's den and not this lovely area. She was being very judgy on everything. Everything. He was like, "What's this? What's this? Where's the you told me you had a pool table. Where is it?" And it was like, he's like, "It's in the storage over there." So Hannah's like, "I wish you were more handy. Did you hang that up yourself?" He's like, "No, my dad helped me, or I helped my dad." And I'm like, ugh. Hannah's like, "Yeah, I'm not moving in here when we get married. You'll move into my apartment." Wasn't a discussion. But he's like, "Heck yeah, I'll move in with you." But he doesn't sound enthused about it, I tell you. Then we have Ramses and Marissa. They meet her friends, Brenda, Veronica, and Gina. Ramses, tells them it was easy for them to connect. It's been wonderful in the pods. So Ramses does tell her friends their, conflict with her military thoughts and ideas. So, Brenda asks, what if she went back? Would that be the end? Would it be an automatic divorce? And he agreed. He's like, if she went back to the military, it'll be an automatic divorce because it's a moral thing. So Brenda is like, you love her, but that would end things? It don't sound right. So Ramsey says it's a morality thing because it hurts people. It hurts civilizations of people. So, Veronica's like, hey, this is a part of her life, something that she is proud of, and she loves the military. And Ramsey says, he trusts her heart, but he is from Venezuela, and the relationship between the U.S., Venezuela, and government is tenuous. I will say that. Ramsey says a lot. I will leave it there. But I understand what he is saying. He is of a people that were on the receiving end of Marissa's military service. So we can understand a bit. But he has to also forgive that it is not Marissa who actually, hurt him. So Ramsey says he feels for people under the hammer of U.S. imperialism. I think Ramses is an author. So her friend Gina says, what will you train your kids then? So he said he will instill values, but he will allow his kids to make decisions. Marissa says she will teach them all about the military. She will take them on trips and visits, and she will allow her children to make a decision. She said she would allow folks in her past. She has allowed folks of her past that didn't align with her values. So she believes it'll be okay. I don't hold that much hope because that is something huge. So her friend Brenda asked, she says, you both have a big heart, but y'all need to solve this. The song they play is I Promise I Won't Let You Down. Interesting song, well curated. Then we have Alex and Tim. He's out there grilling. I am not a meat eater, but Tim, the steaks looked good. Tim, your grilling skills look good. I cannot attest to it since I didn't partake, but it looked good. So while he's grilling, she says her dad is the only one who does not know about the whole process. And they will all leave so he can talk to her dad separately. And this is why she's not wearing her ring. Tim's like, I totally get it. I understand. It seems like something they talked about because he wasn't too upset. Unless Tim was already checked out, and be like, he don't care if she wear the ring or not. So we have Alex's mom, Zandra, her brother Ian, her brother Evan, and her dad, Richard. Now, Evan gave me the look of like Chuck D. If you know, Digital Underground, the afro and the wooden beads, total. Total. If you don't trust me, go listen to Tupac I Get Around. He has a verse. You'll see it. So mom and dad have not been in the room for quite a while. Wow. I wonder where I guess her stepmom didn't want to be filmed. I don't know. I don't know the dynamics, but remember, Alex said her stepmom takes care of her dad. So, the dad said he doesn't have a choice, but he can't say that he's excited about all this. Because the way Alex framed it is that they dated, they chose each other to continue to date, and they're living with each other. She has shared nothing of the proposal with her dad, but her mother and brother, no. So Alex, tells dad, this is her choice, and she really loves Tim, and she wants, the family to feel comfortable with him before she takes it further. So Ian asks about their talks and where they're going in life. Evanson's family is important, and the brothers bond with Tim because Alex is a big sister, whereas Tim was also the little brother. And they bonded on saying, he keeps saying, I could do this, but Alex is always there to do for him like a big sis. So the brothers are like, we know what you're going through. But it seems to me in this scene, Tim is echoing the mannerisms of her brothers. The brothers have a quirky mannerism, which I recognize from one of my kids. So I know they're much younger, but the thing is that it's not mannerisms Tim has shown before. It's mannerisms he's doing now to get them comfortable. I hope I made that clear, but he just doesn't seem his relaxed self. I understand meeting the family, but he seemed to be an echo. Even the body movement was an echo. So the mom asked about their first argument. Have they had it? And Alex is like, yeah, we had it in Mexico. Didn't go into detail. So Tim said he has to receive and learn what she's saying. So he has to stop, receive what she's saying in the moment, and not try to give his feelings too quickly. So mom said, what did it convince you about each other? And, he said she made him feel comfortable, made him feel vulnerable and easy to share that. And he said he wants someone who wants to be with him on his worst day. So dad asked about his military time. Tim was in the Navy for 8 years. And Alex said, her only international trip was to visit family in Scotland. Tim said he's never been to Scotland. So Tim is like, he was born in England on an Air Force base that his dad was serving on. Turns out Alex's dad was also born on an Air Force base in the UK. Similar men. The dad, Tim tells the dad he is so looking forward to going to Scotland because of the golfing, because Tim loves to golf. And the dad said MS robbed him of that because he would be out there with him. Then we see Tim's dog, a little terrier named Roddy. Roddy's cute. Roddy's cute. But every time Tim was saying dog and the dog, I was expecting a much bigger dog. I have to say, I have a Shar-Pei, I have a lab. I was expecting a bigger dog. But they all leave, the family, the mother, the brothers, and Alex leave the room so that Tim could talk to her dad. And Tim does share with her dad, and he reads the letter addressed to the dad that he used to propose to Alex in the pods. It was a moving moment. The dad was really, really choked up. The dad loved it. And I'm wondering, is this the first time a gentleman has proposed in the pods, writing or addressing the dad? I think that was a wonderful move. I think no one has ever done that before. And even with all his antics, I think Tim understands tradition and used his own way to navigate this. Dad cries. He says, I need to gather my thoughts. And I wonder, Tim says in the letter, you raised a wonderful daughter, kind, loving, blah, 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 blah. Whole lot of heartfelt stuff. Does Tim still believe it? Does Tim still believe all the things he wrote in the letter about Alex? Does he still believe it after their fight? After she put her hands on his mouth to hush him up? So the dad says, while this song is playing in the back, the song is All the Thing We Believe in. Dad says, I believe what you wrote comes from the heart. I accept you as my son. Welcome to the family. Tim brings the family back in. Still no affection, still no holding hands with Alex, okay? So we have the mom and dad sitting there. Dad says he's excited to bring Tim into the family. Tim seems like a good person, is what the mom says. She has no concern. Tim is still not standing next to Alex, not holding her hand, nothing. The song they leave us with for this scene is I Still Believe We Are One Family. So we have Garrett and Taylor. They go to her place. She's been there for 6 months. It's a basement apartment unit. It seems like a typical brownstone basement unit. Nothing crazy, except Taylor has labels on the shelving in her closet. I'm all about organized. My closet is not organized right now, but it don't look like Alex's closet. We'll get there. But she has labels on the shelving, on the front of the shelving, telling her where to put sweaters and t-shirts. And I'm like, it's your closet. Nobody else lives with you. So why would you need to label it? Put a comment below and let me know, do you label the shelves in your closet? Even when you're living alone? Okay. They talk about living in Fredericksburg. She wants to move to San Diego, but she wants him to experience it before they commit to it. And he says, Kelly is far from the family, and that is the tough part. And I wonder, is it different? Because her family has certainly migrated to the U.S. Is it different for, folks who wish to travel if their family has traveled from a long distance to get where they were? I wonder. He said a family is a big part of his life, kids' life, and it's not exciting to think that he would be having a life and kids far from his parents. She appreciates his, concession that he is thinking about it and he's willing to consider it. But, it won't be forever because she still has to come to DC for periods of time for her work. And he says he'll probably feel much better after visiting San Diego. And I'm like, why are you on the show, Taylor? I love it that you and Garrett have found each other and y'all are together. Why are you on the show? This is Love is Blind DC. Not Love is Blind DC on my way to San Diego. Okay? And I wonder, when did Garrett know? Well, he had to know it in the pods because she said it. But come on. We're not going to stay here? He said he sold on her words, but wonders, about her, kind of crushing his dreams of the family being here. And she's worried that he may change his mind in being with her, which are legitimate concerns. You have Stephen and Monica. He says he was let go from his job, and he's handling it well, is what Monica says. And Stephen said he's gone between jobs like 2 weeks without work. So he's thankful that she's understanding. And she can treat him like a piece of meat whenever she wants. Stephen is always telling Monica, you can treat me like a piece of meat. So he says, he has concerns about the wedding because she is withholding her affection in the boudoir. And, he's concerned that she's doing that to kind of, I don't want to say punish him, but she's withholding herself. She's not giving all of herself in the relationship. She says, hey, I'm a modern day woman and I will tell you what I need and when I need it. Tell him, Monica. But you're still passive aggressive in the last episode. And she says, hey, we, Between the Sheets is awesome. She has no complaints there because he seems to be obsessed with her anatomy. Let's put it there. So he keeps talking and joking, and Steven's jokes always take a hard turn. And his mind is scattered, and he has like future dad jokes that are now not landing. It's like Steven is like really funny, ha 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 ha, and then he does a swift turn, and then the comic relief ends. Read the room, Steven. She says she needs to feel safe and emotionally safe to be between the sheets with him. So the song they put for them is "Sign Me Up." It was too funny. You have Hannah and Nick. Hannah is like, the house is gross. It is gross right now. And I'm like, dang. She's wiping up stuff that I didn't even see needs wiping up. This song says, "Welcome to the show." Okay? She said she swept yesterday, but it's gross now. And I'm like, she is wearing out them paper towels. If you see the scene and how much paper towels Hannah is just dragging along and wiping along, I'm like, dad, girl, a whole roll just to wipe the counter? All the counters just to wipe the stove? Mm-mm-mm. So he says he comes in, he says he still has to work. She's like, oh, Zoom calls? He's like, yeah, I just changed to be on calls. So he's trying to talk about his day and he's excited. He has 2 new buyers. And she interrupts him and says, hey, go take the trash out. I'm like, girl, he's telling you about his day. And it seems like he does it only when she asks him. He's like, yo, I took the trash out yesterday. It's okay. So Hannah's like, she doesn't want to have to tell him to take the trash out every time. And it's like, girl, relax. And she says, hey, my dog is my responsibility. Yeah, but my responsibilities are now your responsibility. So you need to help me. And it sounds like she's schooling him. Like he is in class and she's just telling him what to do. Girl. So she sits down and says, okay, we need to talk about this cleaning thing. And he's like, I vacuum once every 2 weeks. She's like, every 2 weeks? What is wrong with you? She goes on, she's like, I vacuum every day. I dust every other day. And on the weekends, I do a deep clean of sheets, baseboards, everything. And I clean the fridge out every 2 weeks. Hannah, Nick lives at his parents'. It's just him in the basement. I don't know how long he stays in the basement. But he also doesn't have a dog. But she tells Nick, hey, my dog doesn't shed. Granted, your dog doesn't shed, but it certainly has paws that's coming from outside all over the floor. So I understand why you may want to sweep or mop more often. Understood. But it seems like you are lashing at him. We got to do this, da, da, da. And it's like, maybe he has a different schedule. Be open, Hannah. Be open. And says, if he's out to do groceries, then text her and ask her what she needs. That's not the only way to do it, Hannah. You can have a note on the side of the fridge and you write down what you need and he checks it before he leaves. That's it. Everybody write what they need on the list and go from there. There's another option. Hannah's like, they can split the $300 a week grocery bill. And I'm like, whoa. $300 a week, Hannah? $300 a week grocery bill? I spend that on a family of 4. You're doing it with you. Put in the comments, do you think $300 a week on a grocery bill is a little high as a single person? I think so. Barring anything for the dog. $300 a week, she said, I couldn't believe it. And I don't even do $300 a week sometimes. Coupon, Hannah. Try it. So he said it won't be that much. She's like, oh yeah, I've done it. And are we going to have joint accounts when we're married? He's like, we'll play it by ear. Meaning, I need to watch how you spend. Because if you spend $300 on groceries a week, I'm with Nick. I'm not doing a joint account with you right now. She says, I'm not a play-by-ear kind of person. I need a plan. So again, she's the planner. Nick is kind of in the moment. So I'm like, I get that she needs assurances, but you can't force him to do one way. You just can't. You can't do that to anybody. So Hannah's like, we will share debts once we get married. He's like, yeah, but I ain't got no student loans. And she's like, yeah, but I do. So Nick is gently balancing the scales without telling her too much about herself. Because by now I would have told her, Hannah, it's been lovely, but no. So she says, maybe when we have kids, we can have joint account. And she's like, we're splitting the bills 50-50. And she's like, who should pay the bills? Nick is like, what do you think? Nick is like, anything I say at this point, you won't like. So what do you think? Any suggestions? Hannah says, since I'm more financially literate, than you. I should. Hannah, okay. I need your definition of financially literate. Because to me, it's not financially literate to leave your job for this show. Sorry, that's not financially literate. Maybe you have savings enough for the 2-3 months, but medical sales that you're in, I'm not sure it's that easy to really jump back into the grind. Maybe you could have done a sabbatical. Did your job offer that? Did you consider that? But to even tell your partner, I'm more financially literate than you, that's harsh. Hannah, you need to be a little gentler with your person. Maybe Nick is not your person. Why you're not that gentle? But we will see later. This is Hannah's usual MO. So she asks, he has a car. He doesn't have the payments on it. His car insurance is on his parents' name. So will he be joining her insurance? Will he still let his parents pay for his? And, he's like, what's the benefit of joining your plan? And it's like paying your own bills. Hannah, have you asked Nick if his parents are paying the bill? Have you asked him? Because full disclosure, I know someone right now who is a medical doctor, has been a medical doctor for years, still on their parents' vehicle insurance plan. But they send them the money every month. Well, more than every month. They just send them a load of money. You know what they're also on? They're still on their parents' cell phone service plan. Okay? Because when you bundle, it saves. So rather than have multiples, the person didn't change up till they got married. And even when they got married, they were paying the plans and their spouse joined the plan that they were on with their parents. Because what? It was more financially literate for them. Hannah, I need you to think. Your way is not the only route on the highway. I need you to ask Nick, is he paying the plan that his parents are on? Is he paying for it? Because it could be that it's just easier. Why change it? Why change it? I'll just give you, Mom, you have access to my account. Take what you need. Pay all the bills. You have no idea the financial structure he has with his parents. But you're judging. Judging. So Nick says, yeah, he'll join hers. He said, oh, maybe in a year or so he'll come off his parents' mobile service plan. And Hannah's like, she's been on her own since 18 and she's been paying her bills. And he should be mature enough to pay his too. And I'm like, Hannah, you're a little too judgy. This was stressing me out. So then Hannah says, I'll teach you how to trade stocks. And he's like, oh no, I'll just watch football. She's like, does watching football make you financially successful? And he's like, does watching stocks? He's like, because you can lose a lot of money with stocks. You can lose everything. So she says she is not financially stupid. I hate that word. You're not, it may be ignorance, but you left your job, Hannah, for this. So how are you not financially foolish when you left your job for this chance? Because you had no idea if you were going to meet your person. So Hannah says she has a bad habit that she likes things a certain way. You think? They're both ambitious, they're both kind-hearted and clean, and they're like best friends, so this should work. And he lists her qualities, and the song says always and forever. I don't know about Nick and Hannah. So then we have Ashley and Tyler. They meet her dad. Ashley seems like a daddy's girl. Dad seems like he is the prince dad for his princess. Tyler, we learn, is from Pittsburgh. And, Tyler loves that Ashley accepts how he grew up. And Dad says, yeah, she's a ride or unalive and won't quit on him. I'm like, are you describing Ashley or a car? Okay, Dad? Dad says, ask him what does he do? He says computer work. Tyler says he's not a cheater and won't lie to her. Dad asked about family and kids. He said he comes from a small family. Ashley said he made her feel very soft and loved. Tyler says he loves her, you know, and asks Ashley's dad for her hand. Dad says, absolutely, I accept you because she does not make decisions lightly. You have a lot of potential. And he says, who am I to judge what makes my daughter happy? If she, is talking, if she starts talking about you making her feel unhappy, then dad will kick in. And I'm like, no, dad says he gonna whoop you behind is that tone. Dad cries, he gets emotional. He said, this is a journey, and he is in the back seat. But dad's still saying he in the car. Dad, I need you to get out the car. Dad, get out the car, get out the marriage. Daddy sounded like you in the marriage because you in the car, you in the back seat. You gonna slap Tyler upside his head. Oh my gosh, that was too fun. That's immediately what I thought. Dad said, I ain't going anywhere but the back seat. You may be the driver now, she in the passenger, but I'm right behind you. So he gives his blessing, but this is his only daughter, so don't play. The song they play is The Sun Rises and Breathe It In. Then we cut to Monica and Steven's apartment. But Monica and Taylor are in there while Monica is crying on the couch. Steven did not sleep in the apartment last night. Taylor says, remember when Steven said that in a year when the show comes out, girls will be all over him or the guys? Monica's like, but did he really have a sleep test last night or did he go out with someone else? Steven comes in. Taylor leaves. Monica says, she's reading his text. He has a fetish and it is disgusting. Steven's like, you're right. She's like, who are you and why did you come here? He's like, I don't think you're going to believe anything I say. He's like, I didn't pretend anything. She's like, yes, you pretended to want to get married. He says he made a stupid choice and, to text some girl while he was at a sleep test. She's like, it wasn't last night at the sleep test. It was last night and it was into today. It was really gross ones are from today. She said, do not lie to my face. He said, it's not from today. She's like, let me see your phone. He said, I deleted the messages. Of course you did, Steven. If I was like side-eye Monica, that right there told me what I needed to know. You deleted all the evidence? Yeah. She said, of course. She's like, but I saw them. They started yesterday and continued throughout today. He said, I don't remember texting her today. But he's taking responsibility for this. He is packing up and leaving. Then Monica kind of hardens her heart and says, send me the money for carrying this relationship for the past 2 days. Past few days, sorry. Is she right? Was Monica right or was she being petty? Because if the relationship went along well, would she still ask him for the money back where she had to pay for everything? She's like, no, do it now. Do it now. On your phone, send me a Venmo. She said she is embarrassed by how much of her heart she has given to him. Was he going to shake her dad's hand and know he was already planning to cheat, or maybe did? Said he was laying in a sleep test bed texting a girl he wanted to cheat with and do wild stuff with. And I'm thinking, it's not the wild stuff that I judge you on, Steven. Not at all. Grown consensual adults do grown consensual adult things. But this is someone that is not your partner, not your fiance, that you made a promise to. So it's not cool. It's not cool to go outside the relationship for that. So Monica says, whatever these text messages were, they were disgusting. They were absolutely disgusting. He said he can't do anything to change things. He will live with this, and he is sorry for hurting her, for coming on the show and doing this to her. And she said it was very selfish to put a ring on her, and now you're saying you should not have been on the show. Steven says he does not deserve much. Sorry, and he will leave her alone. The song plays is Battle Drawn Lines. I'm like, How did Monica find out about this? How did she know about the text messages? Were they synced to her phone or her account? Did someone send it to her? How would they know? She's a new fiance. Or is it someone she knows? Possibly. Because there's no way you just came back and all of a sudden someone knows, unless you're all linked on social media and the young lady went to find out who he's with and sent the stuff to Monica. But we don't know. I have so many questions. So I'm like, or did he tell her? I don't know. Garrett and Taylor come over to console her, and that is how we end the episode with Monica crying and Steven leaving. They have left the show. Thank you so much for being with me. This is episode 8 of Love is Blind, DC Season 7. Please like the video, share, subscribe to the channel. And I'm trying out a new slogan. Just be nicer to yourself today than you were yesterday. Have a great one. Thank you for joining me again.